Hey guys, I thought I'd make a quick video here on the 2023 KLR and some of the mods that I've done to it and that I think are pretty good for a consumer like you and me, where we don't want to spend a whole bunch of money but we want the bike to be pretty decent. And right off the get-go, the bikes are pretty nice, I'd say, but there's a couple things to do to them that could just kind of help the overall experience, I guess. Before I get into my mod list, I'll just let you guys know that I'll put everything in the description, all the links and everything. You guys can go check it out, look at prices, stuff like that. So the first mod that I want to get into that I think is the most important, if I had to choose one mod to be this, would be crash bars. So these are the Tusk upper, the Tusk lower, and then I have Tusk skid plate. You don't have to go with Tusk. I think there's some other brands that are pretty decent. I just like the look of them. And I think this is the most important because you can drop the bike pretty easily, especially if you do any kind of trails, any kind of gravel, or even just living on a gravel road. You never know when you're going to do something stupid and slide the bike, drop it, hit a rock weird, you know, slide on, you know, every once in a while the markings on pavement will get wet. You know, you never know. Doing something stupid, you could drop it. And yes, these plastics are tough, but they're not, you know, you drop it weird on a rock, something like that, you're going to bust them up. And I've laid it down a few times, just small, and all I know is that if I didn't have these, I would have broken the edges of the plastic here, something like that. And then the lower ones cover kind of your side of your case. And the case is tough, but it's not bulletproof. You lay it on a rock weird, it's going to, you know, crack it. And then as well as the skid plate. It does have a stock skid plate, but it's plastic, and I never tested it, but I don't know if I trust a plastic skid plate, especially if you hit a log or a rock pretty hard. So I went with the metal skid plate, and it's definitely done its job. I've hopped a few things with it. And this one's low, because it's the 650S, because I'm vertically challenged. So it is a little bit lower, so I like having that skid plate when I want to hop stuff. But yeah, I think that's the most important mod. So as kind of going with the armor, I think rear armor is pretty good too. It's not as important in my opinion, because the front armor does pretty well, and the sides wider. So unless you drop it pretty hard, you're not usually going to hit back here. But you can tell, I mean, it's not the strongest, so I think it's good to have it, especially if you want to put bags and stuff on the side like me. This one, I can't remember the name on it, but it was like $100. I'll put it in the description as well. I like this one specifically because you can kind of do what you want. It's got all these holes and stuff to hook stuff or screw stuff or put a bag. Or maybe a box if you want to put it. I personally like the bags, and I'll get to that a little bit later in the video. But the next mod that I'd put on the list would be an exhaust, anything aftermarket. You don't absolutely need an exhaust, but it's nice to hear the bike. And as you guys know, the stock exhaust is not the most pleasant thing to look at, and it's kind of heavy. So really any kind of exhaust upgrade I think is worth it. It's nice to hear your shifts. It's nice for other people to hear you on the road. This is the GPR exhaust. I think it's an Italian exhaust. I can't remember how much I spent on it, but I'll put it in the description. I think it was kind of expensive. You can kind of throw really anything on these bikes. I'll throw some in the description that are decent exhausts. But I mean, a lot of people go with the FMF, and I had a 2011 KLR and I put an FMF on it and I really liked it. So the FMF is a good exhaust for it. And yeah, really any exhaust upgrade is nice. I'll do a little clip of me doing a small pull with this exhaust. It'll have the baffle in, but the baffle does come out on this. In my opinion, it's too loud. I don't like listening to it, especially at night. We're on a college campus. When I use the bike, you know, I don't want people to listen to that. But I'll do a little video of me doing a pull on it here, and you guys can let me know what you think of it. The next mod I'd have to put on is definitely rear storage. So I got this bag off Amazon. I'll put it in the description, but I think it's amazing. I think it was 40-50 bucks. But for the price, it's amazing. It is waterproof, but I have found out in an absolute downpour, it lets a little bit of moisture in. But just for the use that I've used it for, it's been pretty good. And even on trails, getting wet, you know, here and there, it's pretty good. So it's got a few different compartments, and they make different bags that can go with it. It's got a kit, and you can put different bags on the side, but it's got this main waterproof pocket that opens up, which is pretty good. And then it's got this one right here that unzips as well, and I think it was 32 liters, something like that. But this bag is amazing. I thought it was going to be not that great for the price, but it's a pretty good upgrade. I definitely recommend it, and I'll put that in the description as well. The next mod, which is really dependent on your style of riding, would definitely be tires. The stock tires didn't last very long for me. They only lasted 2,000 miles, but I did kind of a lot of road riding with the bike, and the bike had a few miles when I got it. But I switched to these, which are Mitas. I think that's how you say it, correct me if I'm wrong. Enduro Trail Plus, and I love them. I think they're great. I think there's maybe 60% on-road and 40% off-road. And I kind of bought the bike just mostly for trails, so I've done a lot of trails with it, and these tires have been been real great. So I definitely recommend looking into tires and upgrading with what you think is best. They make some other tires. Mitas makes a whole bunch of tires. They're kind of expensive. I definitely recommend a little cheaper tire if you don't really care that much. I just went with kind of expensive because I'm in college and I want them to last. I don't want to deal with 1,500 miles already thinking of replacing them. But yeah, these are great tires. I really like them a lot, and they do good in gravel and stuff like that. I don't know about snow though. I haven't tested that, and I probably won't. So I slid my other bike into the ditch doing that with my 2011 KLR. Now this one is not as important. That's why I saved it kind of towards the end. So this is, I can't take it off. It needs a little key. There's a little key that comes with it that tightens that so it can't come off. Is a water bottle holder. If you are someone like me and takes the bike to classes and stuff around town, it's honestly nice to have it right there. Yeah, you can put your water bottle in your backpack, something like that, but I like having one right there when I'm sitting at a stoplight. I can just pull it out. And this one's actually pretty nice. I got it off Amazon. I'll put the link for it, and it's pretty sturdy. I have dropped it on it. I haven't dropped it on a hard. I don't know if it would actually survive if you really drop the bike on it or sideswipe something, but it's really nice because all of the points in it are adjustable, so you can put it kind of anywhere you want and then move it so that it's upright. And this will tighten pretty hard on stuff. I don't have it super tight on it, but yeah, it's got a whole bunch of adjustments. You can put it anywhere on these bars. So I think it's a pretty good mod for being cheap. It's kind of just been a plus having it. Now I'm going to do kind of the miscellaneous mods that I just have kind of liked and thought they're pretty good. Definitely be a phone holder. This came on the bike, but I definitely would have gotten a phone holder if I didn't have one. It's definitely something that's pretty important in my opinion. Just when I do trails and stuff, it's nice having the map right there. Or a lot of people put GPS that are more intense about stuff, which I'm probably not going to do something like that. And then a tachometer. This is a super cheap tachometer. I'll throw a couple tachometers in the description that I've seen that people like, and I think I'm going to upgrade eventually. But this, I was using it for lawnmowers when I tuned them, and yeah, I threw it on here and it works. So you don't really need to have the tachometer. Anyone, if you've driven one of these bikes, you understand when to shift. You can feel it, But definitely I like having a tachometer, and then a phone holder as well is pretty important. But yeah, those are just some little ones, little mods that I think, are pretty nice. So there's a ton of mods you can do these bikes, and if you got a bunch of money you want to spend on it, there's definitely a lot of cool stuff you could put on them. But as a college student, this was kind of my consumer list of someone, just every day wants to upgrade the bike but doesn't want to throw a whole bunch of money into it. And yeah, these were just some everyday things that made it a little better, I think. Definitely the armor, small stuff like this. This was just kind of my little list if you wanted to just, dip your toes in some mods if you just got one of these bikes. I've had the bike for 4 or 5 months now, and I've really enjoyed it, and I've just slowly added these things, and I've kind of liked them, and I've gotten the bike to the point that I like it just for kind of the use that I use it for. I kind of do, trails every once in a while, but I kind of use it to commute just from classes and stuff for now. But yeah, this was kind of, my video on it. Let me know if you guys want to see anything else or more on the bike. Yeah.